Hello students, today let us learn about evolution. Evolution is the gradual changes occurring in the living organisms over a long duration. Now it is told that this evolution will result in the development of organisms and new species are found. Around 3.5 billion years ago, organisms were not present on the earth. So earth was very hot and various atoms combine together in order to form few elements like hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, so nitrogen, like these elements were there. Out of all these elements, hydrogen was quite active and it reacted with other elements in order to form water, methane, carbon dioxide. So in this way, ammonia. So in this way, various compounds were formed. Okay. Later on, earlier the temperature was very hot. Later on, the temperature started decreasing and this water get condensed to form steam and rainwater. So slowly, various first elements were formed, compounds were formed. Later on, organic and inorganic compounds were formed. Complex or organic compounds like nucleic acid, all these were slowly proteins, they all started to form. Later on there was combination of organic and inorganic compounds. In this way slowly cells, later on formation of cell was formed, chemicals around the cell, it resulted in the development of various cells. So in this way life began. Is it clear? So life started to begin. Now you can see now unicellular organisms like amoeba or plants like chlorella, multicellular animals like human being and multicellular plants like banyan or anything. So these organisms started to appear. Now we can see organisms are present on land, water, rock. So right from the equator to both the poles, we can see organisms are present everywhere. Now this process, various theories have been put forth by various scientists, but finally gradual development of organisms, it was accepted by people. We all human beings have a curiosity to know how life started. So this was the one which was first accepted. So progressive development of plants and animals over a longer, larger duration, that is called organizational evolution, or in other words we can describe evolution as development of living organisms from ancestors having different structure and different functional organizations. So I hope a little detail about evolution you have understood. Now evolution is an everlasting processes of changes. Proof to support these are called evidences. Okay. Now these evidences, they are of various types. Here we will be learning about morphological, anatomical, vestigial, connecting links, okay, and then paleontology and embryology. So the first one we are going to learn is the morphological evidences. So similarities in the external and visible features. Now students, please see here. So we can see different types of animals are present here and different plants are present here. So the position of the eyes, nostrils, that is the nose, mouth, ear, or you can see the hair all over its body. They are all similar. So what is the meaning of the word called morphology? That is morphological evidences means similarity in their external and visible features. Or else you take the plants, we can see the leaf shape, the venation we can see, petiole. So they are all similar. So this indicates that the origin of plants and animals, they have got common ancestors. Now second one is anatomical evidences. Now you see the human hand, cats, forelimb, patagium of bird and flipper of whale. Now what is the meaning of the word called patagium? Now you can see here you can see some folds are present. So patagium means folds that are present in between the forelimb and the hind limb. That is called as the patagium. Now when you see all these structures, actually they are not at all similar and they have got different uses. We all know human hand is for lifting things. Cat's foreleg, so it is for running or for walking, and patagium of this bat, so this is responsible for flight. Flight means flying. Or else the flipper of whale, that is used for swimming. So here the structures, so they are looking different and they have got different uses, but the bones and the bony joints are, you can see here, the bones and the bony joints are similar. This indicates that they have the common ancestors and they have evolved from it. This is about the anatomical evidence. The third one, the next one, it is called the vestigial organs. Now you see the picture of this vestigial organs. Now what is the meaning of the word called vestigial organs? Underdeveloped or the ill-developed structures which are not useful to human mankind, that is called as vestigial organs. Now the example of this vestigial organs is appendix. Now when you take earlier, our ancestors, they used to have raw food. So this appendix, it was useful in order to digest the cellulose which is present more in raw food. Now human beings, they don't consume more, and this appendix, it is useful for ruminant animals. So cow, buffalo, they are all called ruminant animals. So there are different vestigial organs. The second one is, we can tell about tailbone or coccyx. So similarly, earlier our ancestors, they used to live on trees. So they had tail in order to have balance or the support, and they were quadrupedal. So they used to walk with the four legs, is it not? Now the present generation, they are bipedal. So in this way, slowly the tail, we don't have tail. So slowly it got degenerated. It takes thousands of years for any organ to become useless. Or else you can tell about ear muscles. So this ear muscles, which is useless for human beings, whereas you take in the case of monkey, they have to turn to hear the sound, they turn the ears. Okay, so in this way the ear muscles, they are useful in the case of monkey. So there are like this various organs which are useful for some organisms and which are underdeveloped or not useful. They are called as vestigial organs. The next one is the paleontological evidence. Now what is the meaning of the word called paleontology? Study of fossils. So what is the meaning of the word called fossil? Remnants of, that is remaining part, remnants of living organisms or the impression which are preserved deep inside the earth on the earth's covering, okay, earth's surface. So that is called as the paleontological evidence. Now because of natural calamities like earthquake, volcano, flood, various organism gets buried deep inside the earth. So by this paleontology, we will be able to know that which are many organisms which have got buried. Now if you dig, so the one which is at the top is the one which is recently evolved, and the one which is beneath, that is the one which came into existence first. So you can see here in this diagram, invertebrates, they are the oldest one, followed by the amphibians. and later on by the reptiles. Okay, so these are called Paleozoic era. So what is the meaning of the word called era? The period during which it lived. And the next one, it is followed by the reptiles, and that is, it has been continued, so it is called as Mesozoic era. And later on, Aves means birds. Birds and mammals, they all come under Cenozoic era. Now we all are living in the era of computers. Okay, so we will be able to know when you dig it. So we will be able to know which is the one which is the oldest and which is the one which is the recent organisms. Not only by this method, another method that is called carbon dating. So carbon dating is a technique which is also known in order to find the age of a fossil. Normally when an organisms keep on consuming carbon, once the organism dies, the consumption of carbon stops, but the decaying process takes place, and this is done by C14. Now this, once I told you the decaying process starts, and this C14, it is a radioactive substance. Now C14, it starts the decaying process, and C12, it is not a radioactive substance. So we will be able to know the age of an organism by amount of radioactive substances present. Not only that, by the ratio of C12 and C14, we will be able to know the age of a fossil. Now carbon dating, it was discovered by William Libby, and he was given the Nobel Prize for his discovery in the year 1960. And the material by which the age was determined, it was discovered in a journal called Radiocarbon. Now what are the uses of this carbon dating? We are able to study about paleontology, then we can determine, or we can the use of anthropology. Now what is the meaning of the word called anthropology? Study of human and human behavior. So paleontology, study of paleontology, the uses of anthropology in order to determine the age of fossils, we will be able to know. So I hope you have understood about carbon dating. So earlier we learnt about paleontology, which is nothing but study of fossil, which unfolds the evolutionary secrets. Now the next one is the connecting link. Now what is the meaning of the word called connecting link? Some living organisms, they possess some special characters in them which they are the distinctive feature of other groups. Okay, such individuals which connect the groups by sharing the characters of both, they are called connecting link. Now the example here you can see is duckbill platypus. Now this is a combination of reptiles and mammals. And then now what is the reptile characteristic features? They lay eggs, and mammals, they have got mammary glands. So this duckbill platypus, which has got the characteristic features of both reptiles and also mammals. So I told you connecting link, which has got the characteristic of both groups, that is called. Next one is lungfish. Now you can see this has got the characteristic features of both. So you can tell pieces, that is the fishes. So it has got characteristic features of fishes. And also amphibians. So this is about the lungfish. The next one is Periphatus. Now what is the Periphatus? It has got the characteristic features of Annelida and Now, what are the characteristics of Annelida? We all know they have got segments all over the body. Then it has got cuticle. Then they move with the help of parapodia. So it has got all these annelidal characters and also arthropoda. Now, how do they respire? They breathe with the help of trachea. So, what is connecting link? Which has got the characters of both. Okay, so both, like for example reptiles and mammals in the case of duckbill platypus. Then I told you lungfish, which has got the characteristics of both fishes and also amphibians, and peripatus, which has got the characteristic features of Annelida and arthropoda. So connecting link, it indicates the direction of the hierarchy of the evolution. And the last one we are going to learn is embryological. And the last evidence is embryological evidence. So what is embryological evidence? Study of developing embryos. So you can see in this picture here the different embryos of fish, salamander, tortoise. So all these are given here. So when you see this picture here, during the initial stages the embryos look similar, but later on as they grow the similarities disappear. So this is about the one of the evidence that we all have a common ancestors. So today what did we learn? We learned about evolution. What is the meaning of the word called evolution? Gradual changes which takes place from the ancestors. That is what we learned it. And we need evidence. So in that we learned about morphological, anatomical, vestigial, paleontology, connecting link and embryological evidences. In the case of the first one, that is morphology, even though we learned that the external characters here, they are similar, so they develop from the ancestors. The next one we learned was anatomical. We learned human hand, cat's forelimb, okay, or else about the patagium of the bat and the flipper of the whale. So these structures, they are dissimilar, but they have got bony, and the bones, if you see, they are all similar. That is about the anatomical we learned. Then the third one we learned was about paleontology, vestigial organs. So there are some organs in our body which is of no use, but those organs, they may be useful in some other organisms. Like we learned about the tailbone, then we learned about appendix, then we learned about ear muscles, that is the pinna, or the wisdom teeth. Then the fourth one, what we learned was about paleontology. What is the meaning of the word called paleontology? So we learned that in the paleontology, study of fossils, that is called paleontology, and with the help of carbon dating method we will be able to know the age of the fossil. Then the next one we learned was connecting link, where in the case of different peripatus we learned, or in the case of lungfish, which has got the characteristics of pieces and amphibian. That means they have got a fish-like body, and amphibians that they have lungs for breathing. So in this what we learned that they connect the groups by sharing the characteristics of both. Okay, Annelida and arthropoda, like that. And the last one we learned was embryology. The study of embryos. It is told that during the earlier stages, these embryos, initial stages, they were similar. Later on, as they started growing, they were dissimilar. So from all these evidences, we learned that these are all the proofs from which we all have evolved from the ancestors.